I think it's going well, considering there's not a lot of contenders for the different positions. Because I think most of the body felt implicit confidence in the current leadership, and except for probably two persons who are not running anymore, another official who is not in country. The main primary leader of the leadership stays in place. So the attendance was expected to be really poor. So we are excited that people are here to participate in this, and it's also a joint policy conference as well. And we are trying to see how well we can start to push CDC policy in the public space and get input from others to be able to build a formidable national agenda as we move forward to 2017.
This means that you've gotten another training mandate to run the CDC-USA. Tell us, how is it going to be this time from your first term of leadership?
Right. It will be a little different. We'll be more demanding of our partisans here. We understand that being a member of CDC-USA is voluntary, but at the same time, if you volunteer and want to be a part of something, you've got to have a certain level of commitment. So we'll be focused on those who are committed to being, partisans of the CDC, those who are ready to work, those who are ready to offer the services. We're not, continue to just have people who are not paying dues, who are not actively participating in trying to make a difference in Liberia, on our list. We'll try to focus only on those who are contributing and those new people that we can bring in, to support the process. Because we feel the CDC is an attractive proposition right now, and in order for it to expand its attractiveness, especially in the outlying counties, we need more support from the USA to be able to help build the infrastructure around the country.
What are the challenges in getting this done?
There are significant challenges, like I said, lack of interest. Here, everybody is trying to make, a daily bread, work. Sometimes they come from work, they're not committed to doing the extra things like, reviewing documents, helping to create policies, calling other people to join the organization, and just being able to come to meetings on time because they got their own personal obligations or their family obligations. So those are the primary challenges. And we also have the challenges of those who may be unhappy with the current leadership because they were competing at the time and not ready to participate at the fullest. So those are the basic challenges we face, but we think they can be overcome with committed people because even though we are very distributed here, and that's another challenge, the fact that people are all across the country, and it's a very big country, so we don't have a lot of face-to-face, but we have gotten to the point where we have very efficient telephone conversations or teleconferences, and it works for us, so we can overcome those challenges and move on to be a better organization.
The people might have more interest in seeing your leaders frequently. What plans have you for this term? Perhaps decentralization to the various states?
That's a great point. We expect to do more road shows in terms of reaching out to different communities, especially like those heavily populated communities like Rhode Island, New York, New Jersey, North Carolina, Atlanta, Dallas, Houston. The big cities and the states that have a lot of Liberians in them. Those will be the ones that will be really trying to reach out to gain more membership, to spread the word about the CDC, and to see how we can increase our number of sympathizers. Even some people may not want to be members, but they may support our cause based on our philosophies and our ideologies and our policies we expect to implement in Liberia.
What's your own vision for Liberia? You based here in the diaspora. What's your own vision for Liberia?
Well, my personal vision for Liberia is for us to elevate our countrymen to the point where every Liberian has an opportunity for affordable living. In that case, it talks about jobs, it talks about decreasing corruption, it talks about improving our health care, it talks about improving our human capital, it talks about creating opportunities for people from a business perspective, not only jobs, but creating business and providing some kind of institutional support and infrastructure around people who want to do business so that they are not failures. Because generally, most businesses fail in the first few years. So if you can get people to get into sustainable opportunities that they can carry on and equip them with the level of knowledge and the tools, they can be successful.
You just had a policy conference. What are some of those policies that were drafted and how soon will you be recommending them?
Well, We did some economic policies here. We look at reprioritizing the national budget. We look at gender equity. We look at the healthcare industry and stuff. So this is like the first step. Now the next step is to get in other experts who were not here to review some of the stuff that were presented here, and then we can extract those key things that we think will either benefit the government now as it is or CDC government, but we'll be submitting that to the National Executive Committee in Liberia, and hopefully they will be receptive to what we do.
You had similar policy in 2011. Now, what can you say? Are you seeing government drafting into your policy in making it work, though you're not in power, as you opted for?
Well, probably at a limited level. We see government talking about the agricultural sector, paying or supporting agricultural farmers by buying additional equipment for them, fertilizer and other stuff to enhance the agricultural sector. But to a large extent, I don't see government utilizing a lot of the policies that were proposed by CDC. From even you can say to some extent the law reform. Those are things that were in place, but we suggested additional things, and it's not like government is really receiving some of those things. We hope that we use it because we feel our policies in that people oriented will benefit people, and equitable and fair legal system helps everybody. But we don't see that happening. So we still feel a lot of those things we proposed in 2011 are still relevant today. From spurring up small businesses, in a very supportive fashion, building an institution around them to help people, guide them as they develop their business. Those are some of the things we talked about. Setting up priority sectors, especially in the judiciary, where our judges can be better trained, be better compensated, so they're not compromised easily. So, those are things that we think the government still need to do. Friendly policing, because we have incidents between the police and our people. Community policing, where we involve the people. All those are things that we have proposed, but we have not seen it manifested in this government's policies.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.